on this computer. Hi everyone, my name is Pianpian. I'm the founder and CEO of Amotions. Today we have Elena here, and she's a global human capital leader and also executive coach. We're honored to have you here, Elena. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Pianpian. Thanks for having me, and hello, everybody.
Yeah, so today we're going to focus on talking about relationship building. Elena, I have a few questions that I have heard from the community, and I would love to hear your thoughts on these. So first
Certainly.
question is, what is the role of relationship building in getting a new job? There are several users that have mentioned that they're looking for something new.
Certainly, and of course, now especially as we're coming back from COVID-19 quarantine, right? I think new jobs are opening up. Folks are, certainly interested in either now switching careers or getting new jobs as maybe they have lost their jobs as a result of COVID in 2020. So now is definitely a good time to start thinking about this. So relationships and jobs are absolutely essential. And, if you were to listen to any self-development guru, I mean, anything from, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie to Tony Robbins, and let's take Oprah. All of them, certainly talk about the importance of relationship building and achieving success, whether it's in one's career and one's life and one's well-being. I mean, ultimately, relationships are, a really key factor in that. So if you're looking to, get a new job, certainly I would start looking at your network and revisiting those relationships that you have built over the years. And, I'm sure people would love to hear from you about how are you doing and what you're doing and what you're looking for. And, as you're building these relationships, always, see what kind of value can you also add to your network, right? As you're approaching, your reintroductions, see what you can do for the people that you're speaking with. I mean, approach it from a very natural, authentic interest in what those people are doing. And I think this certainly will prove to be, a success, as you're looking for a new opportunity for yourself.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. That's great insight. And how about if someone is looking at something totally new and that like they might not have existing network in those fields?
Well, I mean, I think there's always ways to find people who might be interested or interesting, right? So I think the best way of approaching a situation where you're starting something new is to reach out to a community. I mean, there are Facebook groups, there are meetups, there are different communities, or maybe there's somebody within your network. I mean, maybe it's a second degree connection that you can ask, for an introduction. And I think that those types of connections usually are more on you have to approach it from more of an exploratory point of view, right? So you're obviously not an expert, you're looking to make a jump into something. So show the curiosity, show the interest in, people's successes, what has worked for them, ask for the best way of, getting into the business. And I mean, quite frankly, don't be afraid to step down. I mean, like maybe you've been a director in one role. I mean, you'll probably have to step down, maybe to individual contributor, as you're starting with a different, function or with a different area entirely, right? So be curious and open to learn, right? I think that would be my advice.
I love the part about curiosity and also thinking about what values you can bring to the other person as well.
Absolutely. And, to tell you honestly, that is kind of the main thing. You want to get somebody's attention, you bring the value, right? You really want to see what would be interesting for that person. You want to see how you can enhance and elevate their lives, right? What can you do for them, right? It's not always, super, self-centric. Obviously, you already know what you want. You have an idea as to what you're looking to achieve, but you're about to ask in a way for a favor, right? You're asking for somebody to support you. So think about of ways you can enhance that person's life. I mean, whatever it may be. Maybe there's another connection that you can, introduce them to, or maybe that's, a project that you can help them with, or maybe it's something else, right, that you can do for them to enhance their experience as well.
Yeah,
What,
that's
what,
great.
what do you think?
I think it's absolutely great idea on all of these, and I have friends or former coworkers reaching out to me on some of the ideas on these, or they're considering new things. So, yeah, I think it's the curiosity part, and people are always happy to help, and if they
Exactly.
can.
And I mean, I feel like people are very willing to, step up and, and help you. I mean, provided you're showing genuine interest in what they're doing. I mean, I think it applies to, the basic psychology here, right? You show interest and people are very happy to share, their insights, right? But again, it has to come from a very authentic place, right? You're
Mm.
genuinely interested in them and what they're doing, not just pursuing, your personal agenda. I mean, like, people will be able to snuff this out very easily. So you need to make sure that
Mhm.
when you do these reach outs, you think about the other person as well.
Yep. Yep. All these great points. Thank you so much on these. Next, we're going to talk about the role of relationship building in our career.
Excellent. Well, I mean, we just talked about, the role of relationships for seeking a new job, right? And so when you're looking for a new career, think about a career as this big vision, right? It's like it's a timeline. So that's
Hmm.
that's your career. You started over here, you had this big vision, right? You're progressing towards your vision, right? And your career is a timeline. So your job, think about it as a point in that timeline that moves you towards the next step in your career.
Hmm.
So absolutely, as you grow within your career, I mean, your network should certainly, enhance, right? Like, you absolutely should do uh, more connections. You should be more curious. And I mean, that is, part of that growth mindset, that you're curious about what else is out there. How else am I going to grow? Who else can I learn from? What else can I do? How can I contribute? And so absolutely, the relationship building is going to be absolutely essential in your career advancement. I mean, the more relationships you build, the more value you produce to your, network, the more your network would be responsive to you as you're looking to progress to the next stage. So the more visibility you have, the more support you have. So I would say it's absolutely essential.
Now, how do you build your relationships in your career? Like, I think previously you mentioned curiosity, bring your own values, etc. Anything else to add besides that?
How do I build relationships within my career?
Yeah.
Um, so, okay, so this is going to sound really straightforward. I mean, taking action is going to be one of them, right? So you can't sit here and think, okay, well, I'm just going to build this network, or these people are just going to somehow come to me. What this means is you have to do an proactive outreach to your network, to your community, to people that you're interested in, right? I mean, you have to make yourself available, right?
Mhm.
For contact, right? You can't expect to sit on a couch and for network to just come, crushing in on you, and right? And then, and then feel bad that nobody does, right? The
Yeah.
whole thing here is that you have to be putting yourself out there. And I know some of the introverts here might be cringing and being like, I'm not putting myself out there, there's no way. But it doesn't actually mean that you have to be an extrovert to build value, to build a relationship, right? You can build relationships one at a time, right? It doesn't actually require you to be this extreme extrovert to talk to anybody about anything. In fact, introverts build the most, deep relationships, because they do take a genuine deep interest in one's well-being and one's thoughts and one's feelings and one's vision, right? So for an introvert, those relationships, are already being built on very deep connection. So sometimes actually extroverts, they may actually know a whole lot of people. And I mean, I am one of those extroverts. So I have to, make sure that the relationships that I have are not surface, that there are deep relationships, right? We're genuinely interested in them, that I have made an impact in people's lives as I go through my career.
Hmm. That's great.
What do you think? I mean, does that make sense?
Yes, yes. It's interesting. I study sociology in my master's, and there's theory about the strength of weak ties and then also the strong ties. So, kind of like finding the balance of managing different kind of connections and etc. And
Absolutely.
it's like, how do you allocate time to build different kinds of relationships and deepen each of the relationship if possible. Yeah, I think it's
Exactly.
very important.
Yeah. Very, very, very important. I mean, ultimately, it's all gonna come down to how genuine are you in that connection, right? And how genuine is your interest. I mean, ultimately, it's really great to know a whole lot of people, but the people who are going to move the needle are the ones that with whom you have built the strong, deep relationship with. And so, it's worth to invest the time and effort in making that happen. So I would say, given the opportunity, please do that.